In the kitchen this Thursday, you know, it seems like craft beer is becoming more popular these days. It's in all the hottest restaurants, and there's so many different flavors.
Did you know, though, that you can actually craft your own beer as well as wine at your own home? Joining us today to show us how that's possible is Doug Griffith, who is the owner of Xtreme Brewing in Millsboro and Lewis. So, Doug, this is relatively simple, right?
Yes, it is. We sell a lot of the kits to craft your own beer. You get a pot, you add some water to it, you put the malt extract in, which is what makes the flavor and the alcohol. You need to boil it. There's some hops that are get added to provide some bitterness, flavor, and aromas. And you put it in a fermenter. So there about 2 weeks. Gets bottled, and about 2 more weeks in the bottle, and you're ready to drink.
So this isn't something you can do in a day. You can't start making beer at noon and have it for dinner that night.
No, there's a process that goes through. The yeast has to ferment the sugars that are in the beer into alcohol, and then it gets bottled because most people like that beer carbonated.
Right, right. Now, you have already put in, you said the malt.
The malt.
Okay, and then we're going to put in some hops?
Hops.
What exactly are hops?
Hops are a plant, looks like a vine that grows 15, 20 feet high, and they get little clusters of flowers on them. Looks like a pine cone when they're ready to pick. You go ahead and put them in there.
So this is a pretty technical way to do this, right?
Yeah, just dump it in.
Oh, you did a good job, Jimmy.
Now you're going to smell, you're going to see it's going to boil up some. You're going to smell that great aroma.
Oh, okay.
Now, the 3 additions I talked to give you bitterness, and it can be the same hop, but you get bitterness out of the early addition, there's a flavor addition about halfway through, and then there's the aroma addition at the very end. And those 3 additions can be the same hop, as I said, but they give you the different effects of bitterness, flavor, or aroma. When you go to smell that beer, it's the aroma hop. And when you taste it, it's the flavor hop, and the bitterness that counteracts a lot of the sugar that's left from the fermentation process counteracts the bitterness, counteracts that sweetness.
Now, the fermentation process, you said about a week, 2 weeks?
About a week at about room temperature, 68 to 70 degrees is optimum. And a lot of people do it mainly during the winter because they have more free time. They don't have grass to cut, activities to go to, so people have more free time. Temperatures are better during the winter time and make good beer. Dark beer, especially in the wintertime.
And this takes time. It's not, like you said, it's not something that happens in 5 minutes. If I want to put together a batch, what kind of investment am I looking at in this?
Equipment runs about $70 to $100 for the specialized equipment. A lot of people will have a brew pot at home or something, a stock pot that can be used. Otherwise, it runs about $75 to $100, depending upon the size. And batches of beer run about $40 to $70, depending upon the alcoholic content. The more alcohol you put in it, the more ingredients you have to have, so hence the higher the cost.
And how many would that serve, do you think?
All of our recipes make 5 gallons. It's just over 2 cases of beer.
About 2
wow,
cases.
2 cases of 12-ounce bottles.
Now, the thing about craft beer and home brew is you can pretty much craft it to your taste.
Yes, a lot of people we have actually take one recipe and we'll tweak it to exactly what they want. Sometimes people want more bitterness, less bitterness. So after we do some training, we have classes throughout the winter for both beer and wine and show you how to do that.
And you have some things here. You have honey here. What is some of this?
This is for a recipe we call turkey drill. This is the grains. We've got some sitting out here just to show what they look like, but we take and crush the grains, put it in a bag, and then that goes into a sock.
A sock.
A sock.
Yeah.
Not a worn sock.
Well, that's not one of my socks.
It's a grain bag, we call it. So it's put in there, put in the warm water as it's heated up, and that pulls out a lot of the essence, the sugars that are in the grains.
Now, some of your recipes are actually featured in a book that Jimmy's holding right there.
Yes. Sam Calagione from Dogfish wrote a book 5 years ago and came out just recently with a 2nd edition. We've got 7 of our recipes in the new book. And also we were at the Dogfish Brewery, did a photo shoot. We've got some pictures in there to show how things are being brewed.
So I was scanning through, there's some great pictures and
Wow.
great shots.
Yeah.
But you know, we're talking beer here. But you can do wine as well.
We do wine. As I said, we do classes in the fall for both beer and wine. We get juices in from California this time of the year. We get juices in from Italy in about another month in October, and then we also get juices in from Chile in the spring. as well as we've got these Island Mist. It's a lighter wine that is sweetened with different fruits, different wine bases. And then we still have the traditional wine kits where you can make Chianti, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon.
So much.
Plus a lot of other ones that a lot of people aren't familiar with. We have some of those.
Some of those too.
Yeah.
Well, this would be a good time to get started on this for like Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We have a lot of people who
Alright.
make gifts for Christmas, both beer and wine.
Gotcha, Doug. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
And if you want to learn more about the classes that you have to offer and some of the recipes that you can start brewing your own beer and wine, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Delmarva Life. Be sure to join us tomorrow. How the folks at Johnny Janosic help give one family in Sussex County a brand new start with a brand new Habitat for Humanity home and how you can join future efforts.
Plus, we visit the Academy of Dover Charter School, how the school is quickly turning into a success story in Kent County.
And we're inside the Berica production facility. The crew there helps us put some modular home misconceptions to rest.
You can visit delmarvalife.com on your mobile device. If you're an iPad user, you can watch us there as well.
Coming up next on WBOC, Dr. Oz. And we'd like to thank our studio audience for joining us today. To find out how you can become a member of our studio audience, visit delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.
Delmarva Life, life at its best, here on Delmarva.